Village of Lincoln, the Village of Lincoln Heights. Council meeting is now in order. Today's date is Monday, January 24th, 2022. The time is now 7:45. Roll call. Ms. Randolph.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Present.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Present.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Present.
Councilwoman Linda Child Jeter.
Present.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Present.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Present.
Do I add? Councilman Durance Daniels.
Present.
We have 7 who are present. We do have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Ms. Childs Jeter, will you give the prayer this afternoon?
Oh, thank you. Will we bow down before the Almighty who's looking at us and to see what we're doing in His name. Father God, we come to you to decrease so you can increase and give us what we need in order to do the work of the village. I ask that you put your loving, kind, wonderful, marvelous arms around all of us that are here today and anyone else that's on their way. Thank you for the great things that the village is doing and that we may continue in that direction as we sit here as one. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Amen. In your precious name.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion in order for acceptance of the agenda with any necessary corrections?
Motion. Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Filing of the journal is there a motion for committee of the whole meeting minutes from December 27th and regular council meeting minutes from December 27th with any necessary corrections?
Motion. Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Announcements. Welcome, Councilman Daniels.
On this Thursday at 5 p.m., there'll be a virtual meeting with LHOI, United Way, to any residents to hear about the Project Lift program, which helps with any utilities, any rental assistance. So I know digitally sometimes isn't the best way to get information out to the residents, but it will be a digital Facebook Live event given the COVID situation. But if anybody that has any rental assistance problems or any utility assistance problems, you can reach out to me. My cell phone number, I don't mind, is 513-518-6953. We just want to make sure you get this information.
Thank you. Councilwoman Baber, any announcement for you?
No announcements, but Mr. Daniels, could you give that number again, please?
Yes, ma'am. 513-518-6953.
Thank you.
If I don't answer, please text me.
If they can't get on Facebook, you think they're gonna be able to text you?
We'll work it out.
I'll work it out.
We'll work it out.
Okay.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
All right. Councilwoman Jeter, any announcement for you?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Boards and Commission informational meeting on March, the second Tuesday in March, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and more information coming to you.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Key?
No announcements at this time, Mayor.
Okay. Vice Mayor Stinson?
I have no announcements.
Okay. Councilwoman Mitchell?
No, ma'am.
All right. Village Manager Caldwell, any announcements for you?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I do have a little announcement.
Okay.
Or like a challenge. I received a phone call from somebody that works for Woodlawn Recreation Department, and they're having a Black History trivia. They're gonna do a Jeopardy style, and I received a phone call asking if anybody from Lincoln Heights Council would be willing to be a part of the Jeopardy team. I took that as a challenge. So if anybody is interested, just let me know. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, I do have an announcement. I thought I would surprise you all. I was voted to be, I'm on the executive committee for Southwest First Suburbs Consortium. So last week, I've been going for like the last 4 years. And so I just wanted you all to know that I was voted for president.
Yay, good job, man.
Yeah, of the executive of the board. So I just wanted to surprise you all. So that just goes to show networking really does pay off. And so I'm looking forward to it. We are looking for other municipalities to become on our executive committee along with other municipalities to be part of the organization. And we are excited for the village of Woodlawn. They have a new councilwoman, Cindy Chandler, that has expressed interest just for the village alone to be a part of, start coming to the meetings. And that's where we get additional information as far as grant opportunities and things for all our municipalities. So I just wanted to let you all know that I get to be a president on a board like my other fellow councilwomen around this table. So that was my news today.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You're moving on up.
Yeah, I graduated a little
exciting.
bit. Okay. All right, we're going to move on to our lovely speaker, Attorney Glenda A. Smith, candidate for Hamilton County Juvenile Court Judge.
Thank you, Mayor Mumphrey, and congratulations again on your success. And I wanted to tell everyone here, thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with such distinguished people who represent their community so well. Thank you for doing that, because we reflect on each other. Once again, my name is Glenda A. Smith. I'm running for Hamilton County Juvenile Court Judge because Hamilton County Juvenile Court is 30 years behind the rest of the country and 12 years behind the rest of Ohio in juvenile justice reforms that are more humane, effective, and efficient, cost-saving, while keeping the community safe. I've seen the impact of these reforms. I would like to see these reforms here in Hamilton County. I can't do it by myself, but we can do it together. Go to glendaforjudge.com and join the movement. I have 20+ years of experience of representing poor people in juvenile and other state courts, as well as federal court, and all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. I did not get that privilege by myself. I had the support of my family, my church family, teachers, professors, IU chancellor, and others. I was raised by a single parent in public housing. I was a teen mother. I was told implicitly or explicitly on a daily basis that I would never get out of public housing. Thanks to my faith, work ethic, and charity, I have a bachelor's, master's in public affairs, and doctorates in jurisprudence. I have 4 children. My oldest child has a master's in social work. My second child is a journeyman electrician. He is a member of IBEW Local 648. My third child graduated from Wellesley College in 2020. And my last child is in her second year at Howard University. If you want a juvenile court judge that understands children, families, and obstacles, then go to glendaforjudge.com and join the movement. We can do this together. Thank you.
Council, any questions for Attorney Smith?
Just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any thoughts to either community court or just an alternative court system for juveniles? There was a system used to be set up here by Judge Fernand Rucker that kind of ran something similar to that. Didn't know if you had any thoughts or any provisions around that when it's dealing with our youth and having a stopgap measure, working with Hamilton County, working with the courts that allows them to get on the right track without getting something on their record.
I do, and that's what the reforms are all about. The reforms are about not putting children in detention, because we know that if a child goes in detention just one time, they have a 40% chance of committing a crime, a real crime, within 2 years, and a 75% chance by age 21. So the whole country is pushing toward diversion. Youth, if you look at the statistics of what types of crimes are committed by youth, they are not major crimes. They're fist fights, they're stealing. They're stuff that we all did growing up, you know, and none of us went to detention for getting in a fight or for stealing or for whatever the case may be. The police brought us home, and then we got, what we got when we got home. So yes, we want children to stay out of the court system. That's the major part, as you say, of the reforms is diversion. Yes.
So you have a program where you're working with children now. Please talk about it.
Oh, okay. The program that I have now, is called the Glenda A. Smith Youth Sanctuary. We do 3 things. The first thing that we do is we provide resources to children and families just to get them over the hump. We have a youth Bible study that meets on a weekly basis. It's currently on recess at this moment, but it has met for a very long time. And we are raising money to build a youth residential facility on church property for homeless youth. What we do is we work with outside people such as yourself. You guys have been so great. And we work with people in Blue Ash, the police department, social worker in Colerain, people in Avondale, and because you guys are boots on the ground. You can let me know and our organization know, the Glenda A. Smith Youth Sanctuary, what the need is out there as far as food, gasoline, or clothing, and then we can respond accordingly. So that's that part of our outreach. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted you to tell folks what you're doing, because you send me information, and also you send me pictures of Wyoming. Was it the cafe down there?
Yes, we did at Dean DeStassi's restaurant in Wyoming. You saw that. It was a long line of people at Gabby's. And those people came from everywhere, Lincoln Heights, Carthage, I'm sure Wyoming too, wherever, because people need help, and we should not shy away from asking for help. I know I did when I became an adult, and now I encourage others not to, because you're blessing the person that's helping you. So not only are you getting a blessing, but the person that's helping you is getting a blessing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to give us some flyers?
Yes, please.
You're welcome to.
Just give them, put them right here, and we'll pass them around.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming. All right. Okay. All right. On the agenda, we have listed hearing from the residents, but doesn't look like we have any today. Next would be communications from the Clerk of Council.
Mayor, I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. All right. Okay, in your packet, you have actually the mayor's court totals for the 2021 year that was provided by our Clerk of Council, Vicki L. Bowers. So it will give you the running totals of where our standing was from January 2021 till December. Also, the mayor's monthly report for the month of December 2021. Total to the state, $235. Total air fines to external agencies, $0. Total to other entities, including restitution, $9. Total bonds forfeited to village, $0. Total to the village, including miscellaneous receipts, adjustments, and BA fees, $2,026, with a total to be dispersed, $2,270. Also attached in the back is a bank reconciliation. Is there any questions? Are there no questions? Is there a motion to accept the mayor's court monthly report?
I move to accept the mayor's monthly report.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any nays? All righty. Next would be our communications from our village manager, Joyce Powdrell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to update you on some things that we've been working here in the village. The home improvement program, it's continuing to evolve, but we have a commitment from a financial institution to be the first one to make a contribution to that. The goal is to raise $400,000 to assist some of the residents with code violations that could occur over the next year or two. As that program develops, I will share more with you. I would hope to kick that off in June of this year. We had our first kick-off meeting of the team for the community makeover. We'll start to develop teams and decide what kind of work will be done in the village at different sites. As that evolves, I will also keep you posted on some of the exciting things that will be happening. We did have the Cincinnati Regional Business Committee to visit the village. The mayor and Councilwoman Tanya Key attended that meeting. It was an opportunity for us to talk about some of the exciting things that are happening in the village and to share with them opportunities that could potentially be something that they could work on. This group of people were specifically of their racial equity task force that they have with the Cincinnati Business Regional Committee. The land use study has been completed, and Councilwoman Key and I are going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that what we talked about is included in the study. Wi-Fi is continuing to move forward. We are looking, I think we talked about it, that the total amount that we're trying to raise for this project is $1.5 million. We already have 200 for phase one. We're in conversations with GE Aviation, United Way, First Financial, and some other corporations to see if they would be willing to sponsor so that we can get the funding for the total project. Most of the remaining stuff we've already talked about. code enforcer has been out sick because of sick. He's been out for over a week. The director of public works, as I mentioned, they were clearing lots. He's also purchased more signs to replace some of the worn and faded signs, stop signs that are in the village. Some of the maintenance stuff that they've continued to work on is the chew. Both of the 5,500 trucks have been serviced. If you noticed in the yard out there, there were a bunch of refrigerators. They're gone. So we've removed 30 refrigerators and over 130 tires from the lots that we've been clearing. And they're working on developing an asset management system so that we can keep track of the assets that we currently have and we have identified to purchase. As I spoke in the committee of the whole, we're still working on the fine points of the contract. Mr. Desai and I have been meeting with the sheriffs and county administration on that. I feel very positive about the negotiation. I think Mr. Desai would agree. And hopefully within at least the next 30 days, we will have a final contract to present to council. Please note that under village infrastructure, that we came just below the line, cutoff line for OPWC, but that puts us next in line for funds that are returned. I don't know why we were not selected for the small municipality fund. I'm still waiting for an answer on that. As soon as I get an answer, I will share that with you as well. I got notification from Greater Cincinnati Waterworks that this particular project on Jackson Street, Waterworks project, will probably begin in the third quarter of 2022, and they are completing plans on that. Under communications, your messaging training has been set. Mr. Joe Shields and I will be working again with the mayor to redo the website. We have decided a couple of things. We've gotten our schedule of the things that we want to work on from a communication perspective. Joe will be out in the village, so if you get calls about somebody out in the village taking pictures, that would be Joe Shields. He's building a body of pictures, so when we need to create something, we'll have that information or those pictures available. We're also going to do an e-newsletter more for the stakeholders and talking about some of the things that are happening in the village. We continue to build relationships and stakeholder relationships with Greater Cincinnati Foundation. We're in discussion with them and talking more with Princeton schools. In the area where you see other matters, I hope to the next quarter, I'd like for us to list what other things that we have to do that are required for us as a village to do in this first quarter. I have attached to my report a calendar for 2022, some of the dates and events that are required, resolutions that are required to happen so that we can stay on task and hopefully help Mr. Desai better and making sure we get those resolutions done, making sure that we get our reports out for the Finance Committee on time, and so that we're working together more collaboratively to move the village forward and stay on task and on time. Are there any questions?
Yes, Ms. Giles Jeter?
Yes, Village Manager Paldria, in March you have Women's History Month. Do you have something already planned for that?
No, actually, when I saw that, I don't know who put that on there, because I know I did.
Oh, but it's nice to recognize women during
Yeah.
that month, yeah.
But no, I do not have a plan. So this calendar gives us time to plan because we know what we're going to be doing. Now, in the beginning of the quarter, we'll say, okay, so Women's History Month, what are we going to be doing? Is it each council member, each council meeting, maybe identify a couple of women of significance to acknowledge? I don't know.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, had you already started the planning on that? Sounds exciting.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple of questions. Ms. Powdrew, you mentioned Dsd Advisors, and tell us who they are, and once you do that, can you give us a profile on them?
DSD Advisors is an advisory firm. It's a firm that's a part of Dinsmore and Shoals. They work with organizations to assist them in being an advocacy on the state level and then county level on different initiatives that will help us. When I can't be in the room, I can't be in all of the places. So they will support that effort, direct, consult, and provide information to help the village move forward.
Okay. And the same question for Ignite Philanthropy. I know that they do the Health Collaborative, and they work with Interact for Health. And I know that they are, they're really like major fundraisers. And so what is our connection, and can we get a profile on them to know who is working for us?
Well, we don't have any kind of engagement at this time. We're in a look and see or having a conversation with Ignite Philanthropy. But if we decide to move forward, I'll definitely share. But it's just kind of like having them, hey, I have this idea. What do you think? Could you give us a proposal? And is this doable or where we want to go? But Ignite Philanthropy is a like you said, a fundraising organization.
Okay. And the last thing is that can we also get, I don't know, it seems like we need I appreciate the calendar. You left out Black History Month, but you left out Black History Month. You got Women's History Month. You left out Black History Month. But for some of the things that you have in your report, if there is there a timeline? Because I noticed that some of the things repeat from November. They're still on here. So if we know what's updated or when a completion, approximate completion date, I think that's helpful for me. Or anything new, if you could put it in bold so that I don't have to read the same thing I read in December. You know what I'm saying? So that makes my reading go quicker. I just think that we need some timelines. And the last thing is American Legal Publishing. So that was something that was brought up in December, and we were looking into that for, it was like a report, and I was just looking for it on here to see what came about with that. Do we
Don't recall anything about American Legal Publishing.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else have a question?
I don't have a question, but when we ask these questions, would you refer back to the document so we all could be on the same page?
Oh, yeah.
I had to look for what you were talking about. I found it.
Oh, okay. And just to reiterate, Mayor, I just want to,
Ma'am, she can't hear you.
just to reiterate, I want to piggyback on something that Ms. Baber said. We do have some potholes. And so do we have a schedule of, like, there's some on Chicago, pretty deep onto the side, the north side of Chicago. Do we have a schedule as to when we might begin to address those?
We actually have been addressing. If you go down Shepherd, we actually addressed, there were several potholes on Shepherd that we filled. If you sent me an email on particular
Okay.
ones, we can work towards trying to attack those as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Anything else for the village manager? Okay, if not, is there a motion to accept her monthly report?
Second.
It's been moved in second, all in favor? Okay, any nays? All right, so, Ms. Powder had already mentioned about the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office request for, and she went into that. I just wanted to see if council had any questions regarding the contract. And that's why I listed that. I know she's working with Mr. Desai on that. Okay,
Is there any information on, I guess it wouldn't be, on the current grant that they're working in and how that affects the contract at all? Would there be any information on that at all?
Ms. Powder?
I think that's kind of where our positioning, Madam Chair and Councilman Daniels, is to say, you have already resources, energy. Is there some relief? I think they've been receptive to that. And again, I hope Mr. Desai and I, within the next month, be able to come back and share with you what we've come up with. But they have been very collaborative in this effort of trying to come up with a solution. Do you have anything else to add to that, Mr. Desai?
I would just echo what the manager said. I mean, we've had some very productive discussions, and they're not, ethereal discussions. They're, nuts and bolts discussions about numbers and money and long-term issues for us. And so I think you guys both, both of our personalities, we tend to be kind of nuts and bolts people. And so I think we've had just very productive conversations. And I'm hoping it's going to be less than 30 days that we come back, but I think 30 days is probably a good time frame. And I don't think we're going to come back with, an incomplete product. I think at that point we'll have a complete product with numbers and, say some prayers to God, but hopefully the relief that we're looking for.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? All right, and then we're gonna go straight into the old business of the Cincinnati Police Department, gun range and a late evening use. So I did want to, and I wanted to bring this up because I know for 2 weeks straight, I'm gonna say, that we have been bombarded with very loud noise. It has been awful for our residents, and so I wanted to bring that out so the residents do know that we are addressing that and the actions that we are looking forward to. So I wanted to open it up for council. We can start around the table. Mr. Daniels?
Is there any feelings from other communities on the situation? Do they have any input?
So I've been talking with Mayor Poole of Woodlawn. We had a conversation last week, and the conversation that I had with them, because I was wondering if the CPD Police Department had informed the village of Woodlawn, because the village of Lincoln Heights had not gotten anything. Actually, we never have when they've had late night shootings that pass the time of, I guess, 4:30 is the time that they say that they're closed. And his response to me was like, no, he had not heard anything through their new village manager. So we are planning to visit, have a meeting scheduled to set out with a request for a meeting to see Mayor Aftap Pureville to address the concern. We know that we were going to have a conversation with him about the gun range anyway to bring him up to speed, but we do want to address the late night shootings, or the range of them practicing past 4:30. And so this is the opportunity for me to go around the table and have council be able, their input on how they feel about it and the calls and complaints that the residents have partaken in calling us. And so we we do want to address that, and I think the residents will appreciate that we are having this conversation, and it's not just going on deaf ear. So, Ms. Shells Jeter?
Yes, Mayor. I'm tired of it too, because I'm getting more and more calls about what's going on, and actually could hear it myself. So I did talk to several people, and I did listen to looked at the commissioners' meeting where the president went completely off in the meeting and said that something needed to be done, she needs help, but she will no longer call it the Lincoln Heights Gun Range, because it's not Lincoln Heights, it belongs to Evendale, and that's what it will be called from this point on from her. But something needs to be done. So I know that we are calling the commissioners. They have set aside the $5 million to help get this thing moved, but it's Cincinnati's, it belongs to Cincinnati. Cincinnati needs to take the lead on this and get it out of here. And I also talked to Senator Thomas and asked him to pass on what we talked about to Cedric Denson. And of course, you know, the maps are all over the place for right now, so nobody knows where they're running. Well, people that I talk to don't know which district they're running in, if they are going to oppose their friend. So in any case, in talking to Senator Thomas, he said that he had talked to someone some time ago and he thought they were working on it. So I made a commitment to check back with him every week, every other week, to find out if you're actually digging into this. There's some things that came up in conversation. One of them had to do with, does Evendale have a noise ordinance? And if so, why are they not in compliance with that noise ordinance? So we need to look into that. If it's on the books, may have something that we can work with. The next thing talked about, perhaps we can do a thing where you can restrict them from doing it. So, but also that there may be an attorney that needs to get involved who specializes in that area. So I did say that to the mayor, and for her to take it to Mr. DePop to see what the feelings was on perhaps trying to get an attorney to resolve this at this time. If he can't do it, he may be able to do that. We've been doing this for years. This is in and out, in and out. The news media get involved and then they leave it alone. I think we need a community petition. And if you did it before, do it again. There are new people down there that says that this must go. It is an environmental issue. I think that Mr. Daniels was trying to work on with that, not just for the lead, but it is a hearing thing. It is a mental health issue. You almost get PTSD, or maybe you can. Our children sometimes are in school during the daytime and may not hear all that, but at night, it is a war zone. It's like what maybe Putin is thinking about doing. I don't think our African-American children should be exposed to this. I've had enough, and I don't try to jump into things, but I had enough. I also talked to someone who was involved with this at one time, and the former mayor, Laverne Mitchell, took some measures. So if we go back, step back all this time, and it's getting worse, we've got to do something, council. This must stop. You cannot put this in Indian Hills, Emily Village, Wyoming. Can't do it. Our children are behind in education because of COVID-19, in addition to listening to these bullets fly at night. It is ridiculous what we're doing to our children. And you know that's my passion. So in talking to Commissioner Reese, she's going to be for what the commissioners want. So she's on board. It's just that you have two people that have already taken the lead on this. Time for us to step outside of our comfort zones
Okay.
and go to the public. I'm sorry.
No, I know. Ms. Bader?
Well, I agree with Ms. Jeters, and I did hear that shooting, I think it was this week around, right before dark.
Friday.
And it scared me because I didn't know if it was the fire range or people actually out there shooting. I didn't know what was going on. So, I mean, it's very sad. It's a sad situation that we do need to address.
Councilwoman Key?
Just want to say, Mayor, I appreciate your leadership from the council's perspective on this issue. I too echo the sentiments of what's already been said, but I do want to say something that hasn't really been said, but we really need to say it. And that is, we have, and I have seen and I have read, there are a lot of people that are speaking on behalf of the village of Lincoln Heights. I know that we're speaking on our behalf as well, but I want to make sure that the message that's coming across is a unified message, because what I'm starting to see is perhaps organizations or individuals who are making requests beyond stopping, relocate, or whatever our message is. They're asking for things, and I don't know if it's for them, their organization, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do this. I believe that muddies the water, and I believe that muddies our message. I believe that we have to come with a unified message. We hear the passion that's happening around the table with a unified message of this is what we want, and whoever is speaking on our behalf, they are speaking to what we want as a community. Not what they want, but what we want. That's what I want to caution against, that there's people who, I think I read something that somebody approached one of the council people-elect that's in the city of Cincinnati, and they're making requests on behalf of the village of Lincoln Heights, and that should not be. We have the ability to speak for ourselves, and we have been speaking for ourselves, and I'm not sugarcoating, and I'm not sugarcoating at all. So we have been speaking for ourselves, and I understand that. But the voice that we speak and what we want, it has to be unified. Our messaging has to be unified. We have to decide what it is that we want, and we have to go for it with all and everything that we have within us to do it on behalf of the residents of the village of Lincoln Heights, because they're the ones that's impacted. We're the ones that are voted and elected to look out for their health, safety, and their well-being. And that includes us too.
Thank you, Ms. Kay. All right, Vice Mayor? Okay. Ms. Mitchell?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So that lets me know it's very well said that we all are united on what needs to happen and what is happening to our children and our residents. We have to get more bolder. Not saying it didn't happen back in the day, but now the opportunity has presented itself, and I agree. You don't want everybody, it's like somebody coming to your house, they're doing all the talking for you. You don't want nobody trying to tell you how to run your house. You know what I'm saying? You know how to run your house. So we as council, we need to get united and get strong and represent our house for the residents of the village of Lincoln Heights. So I am in agreement with everything that has said around this table. And I appreciate you all, but we have to do something. We have to make a change. I don't want to get emotional about it, but I am.
Well, Mayor, my point comes from the safety
I get
piece.
you.
That comes from the safety.
I get it. I get it, because I have seen the children play to the background of that noise. And they was not playing, they were playing cops and robbers about 4 years ago. I'm jogging past Centennial, and I see a little boy, two little boys playing in front of the Oak Park sign, and in the background was the shooting. So I get it. I get it. And that's why, you know, I can't do it by myself. Councilman Daniels can't do it by himself. Jeter, all of us, we cannot do it by ourselves. We got to stay united and do what we got to do and be bold.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
so on that point, then we need to have an official statement, because we can talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, either we're going to pass a resolution condemning it or something. I mean, we can say we got to be unified and all of that, but we have to have something.
Okay.
And so let me back up to say, so the Heights movement has, and Durance, you can help me with this. So there was a grant written to help with the effort for the firing range and to address any trauma that our children face. And with that grant, it was actually done with the ACTS group, which is the 4 Episcopal churches in the Valley, along with the Heights movement. And the Diocese of Southern Ohio did award about $9,500. The Episcopal churches, each Episcopal church has pledged $1,000 towards the effort. And so one of the things that's being planned is a peace camp to address some of the issues with the children, to be able to help those individuals who work with children, the teachers, the coaches, any parents who want to go through a mental health youth training. So we have these funds, and St. Simon's is the grant administrator. And within this proposal that was written, there's something in there that talks about a pilgrimage that they're trying to plan. And when it gets all planned out, the village will be made aware. I was talking to the manager and Ms. Stinson a moment ago about it. Because we feel that we have some individuals, some friends who are, let's call them influencers, to have them come out here, listen to the firing range, and then talk about what else can happen. Because we as an Episcopal community feel that not enough is being said or done. It's kind of quiet. And our group feels that there needs to be more, and we want to help do that. So what would benefit us is that unified statement that we can also talk about when we go to our congregations. You know, because when we look at the hearing that was had, there was a lot of momentum. But like many things, you know, if nothing is said, nothing is done. So it's gotten kind of quiet. But we do have these funds that we want to use to address whatever the trauma our kids may be going through, to help them get through things like that. So we do need to have a statement, a resolution denouncing the firing range or the lack of movement. We need something.
Okay.
So, Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
is there a next step at this point, other than finding the unified message? And who's going to work on that unified message? We're talking. If we don't start walking the talk, it's going to fizzle out again, and we're going to be right back here in the same place talking about it.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and start with making a motion when I get down to miscellaneous business, or whenever you make the motion. But we gotta, you know, make a motion for, I gotta wrap my head around how we're gonna do it. Could be an ad hoc committee, but we will bring it back up at the next council meeting. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I think that our village manager is working on something with other people. I don't want to speak on what she's doing, but I think that after this last bout with them the other day, I think that she made some phone calls and did some things, and it might, right, Ms. Boucher, help me out here. I didn't want to tell what's going on with you, but I think that she is working on something.
What,
Yeah, I did notice she sent me something email. Ms. Poucher, did you want to speak on it?
Sure, Madam Mayor. One of the things that I identified early on is that what sometimes get lost is that the property is in Evendale, and we don't have control. And so I reached out to my counterpart in Evendale, David Elmers, and said, hey, I just got a call. It's pretty significant, and can we talk about it and see how we can move forward, and bring me up to speed if there's an arrangement made. I made that call at 7 p.m. I had an email from him by 7:38, so that tells me there is some commitment, some level of commitment to have a discussion and work collaboratively together. Today, I got an email from the village administrator from Evendale convening a meeting with our cohorts in Woodlawn, Evendale, to kind of discuss what can we be doing as village administrators to get some traction on this issue, and then to further have conversation with our counterpart at the city of Cincinnati who manages over safety. I don't know where this is going, but I think it's worth sitting down and having a conversation and strategizing around how do we assist in this process and moving it forward.
you find $30 million, that's what I was told.
Yes,
Five
ma'am.
of what you already have.
Yeah,
We don't have it, but.
Absolutely, because
75.
for me, I know when we first had the conversation, it's something how the prices went up 3 times from the first time, that we start going down there and doing our PowerPoint presentation. The prices went up, because at one time it was not 30 million, maybe they were assessing things, but it's amazing how it went from one price to another price. Yes, Ms. Mitchell?
Yeah, so Mayor, I just want to say that when you, when we talk about the resolution, it's probably something that needs to be joint with Woodlawn.
And that's why I was saying I need to talk, I'll be talking to Mayor Poole. Because we were scheduled to talk within the next 7 to 10 days. We had to look at our schedules, but it is a discussion that we did have so much so on the phone, but we need to be in person to really talk about how we cannot continue to do this. We will not continue to do this, these late nights, and disrespect of not even notifying the villages so we can tell our residents what to expect. I really did not appreciate that, and I know you all did not. Our kids jumping out of bed, wondering what's going on, and this loud noise. I wasn't in the village at that time, but believe me, my vice mayor, she reached out to me and let me know, most of the council, Ms. Mitchell and Councilwoman Jeter, because I was in the village, but I already know how it sounds, so I can't imagine. I remember a couple of years ago, it was 8, 9 o'clock at night, and then when we began to go down there, we were told, oh, no, we never shoot that late. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So it's a disrespect to our residents and to our community that you can just do whatever you want. Don't even have the audacity to contact us so we can forewarn our residents what to expect when they're trying to put their kids to bed at night. So,
And even during the daytime, Mayor.
Yeah,
You know.
day and night.
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, dinner, but all of that. So, Mr. Desai, with ad hoc committee is what we need to do before we can get to trying to piece together a resolution. What do you suggest?
My suggestion is, it sounds like the manager has taken some productive steps towards enlisting, I think, everybody who is going to be affected by this. And the concept of strengthening numbers is what I'm seeing that she's doing. And so I would say, before council puts together an ad hoc committee, let the manager do her diligence with this. We have a council meeting in about 3 weeks, and I'm sure she'll have an update at that point. And then let her provide some direction in terms of what we can do to assist her, if that is an ad hoc committee by council to assist her efforts. If she needs an official resolution from council, you know, let her tell us what she needs so that we're sending that unified message that we want to send.
Okay. By then, I should be able to let council know as well if there's a meeting with the mayors. Okay?
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm back to this, you know, that you have been through this process more than once. So, you know, I see nothing wrong with putting together a committee, a support committee, or whatever you want to call it, to have it there to go.
Okay.
You know, we wait to the last minute, try to do these things, and doesn't work out well. So, you know, I am not in total agreement with the attorney. That is my opinion. Because I've been sitting here since 2014, and it's back and forth and doesn't move.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing further, any other miscellaneous business? Okay, if not, I'm gonna jump down. Got all wound up about this gun range, so we're gonna go straight to new business. Is there a motion in order for resolution number 2022 R4, a resolution authorizing the payments of wages to all employees of the Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, for time missed from work due to exposure to COVID or testing positive for COVID? What's your pleasure, council?
Mayor, before somebody makes a motion, I think there are some questions about this, and I think it would help if we read it in its entirety, because I think that would help me answer the questions. So certainly if somebody wants to make a motion to read it by title, please do, but I would suggest let's read it by its entirety so that we can have a better discussion about what's in this legislation.
Sounds good to me. Is there a motion in order to read by the entirety of resolution 2022 R4?
Motion to read in its entirety.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya King.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Ms. Randolph, would it be all right if I read it? Is that
Sure.
okay? Is that all right with you, Mayor?
Oh, yes, it's fine. Mm-hmm.
Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2022-R-4, a resolution authorizing the payment of wages to all employees of the Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, for time missed from work due to exposure to COVID or testing positive for COVID. Whereas there has been an outbreak of COVID across the United States of America and the state of Ohio, whereas there have been multiple confirmed cases of COVID across Hamilton County, Ohio, and the Village of Lincoln Heights is being affected by the spread of COVID in a manner that could endanger the health, safety, and welfare of village residents, employees, and businesses. Whereas the measures necessary to address the spread and effects of COVID within the village sometimes require village employees to isolate at home until they are able to return to work in accordance with the CDC guidelines. Whereas isolating employees may be able to work remotely depending on whether they're experiencing symptoms of COVID or the nature of the work they performed for the village of Lincoln Heights. Whereas isolating employees who are unable to work remotely must utilize their sick pay benefits or go without pay if they are part-time workers. And whereas Council for the Village of Lincoln Heights deems this to be an undue financial burden on isolating employees, now therefore be it resolved by the Council for the Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, that Section 1, the village manager and finance director are hereby authorized and directed, retroactive to January 1st, 2022, to pay isolating employees their regular rate of pay for time missed from work due to contracting COVID or exposure to COVID when they are unable to work remotely. The village manager is hereby authorized and directed to end the COVID pay policy at any time she reasonably determines it is appropriate to do so. This resolution is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and welfare of the village of Lincoln Heights, and shall take effect immediately. The reason for the emergency is the need to deal with the loss of pay incurred by isolating employees.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. So why are we making it retroactive to January 1st?
Because we've had incidents of employees that had to isolate prior to this council meeting.
Yeah, I know prior to the council meeting, but was it back to January 1st? I thought it was like midweek or something, and they came back on the 12th. It started before January 1st?
So to the extent there's nobody that that time period would apply to, they wouldn't be affected by the COVID pay policy. We were trying to just tie it to the beginning of the fiscal year of 2022.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But no one has had it at on January 1st that we know of or prior to.
Right, I was
Okay.
just tying it to the fiscal year.
Oh, okay. All right.
Vice Mayor?
How many times the employee get to take advantage of this?
The way the resolution's currently written, there is no limit.
Okay.
Anyone on this side? No questions? Okay. All right, if there's no questions, motion in order to suspend the rules of Resolution 2022 R4.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
No.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes, 1 nay. The motion does pass.
Motion for passage of Resolution 2022 R4.
So moved.
Been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
No.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes, 1 nay. The motion does pass.
Motion to accept the emergency clause.
Been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
No.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes, 1 nay. The motion does pass.
All right, is there any other miscellaneous business?
Mayor, I have a follow-up, if I may, to 2022 R4.
Okay.
So this starts as of, so how many days does that include right now? And how many employees does that affect? Will that benefit?
Well, it would be, of course, retroactive to January 1st.
Right, but I
And,
mean,
and since it was passed by an emergency resolution, it's effective immediately, so it's effective now.
okay, starting from, was it January 5th?
January
What was the
1st.
date? So the employees went on the COVID leave, so to speak, from January 5th to January 12th, is that correct? I'm just trying to get time frame and the number of employees.
And remember, it's not just that you're an isolating employee, it's you're an isolating employee and you cannot work remotely.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, who did that affect? Because we got the message, right, that someone was,
Excuse me.
had contracted or had tested positive, and the building was being shut down and will return on January 12th. So how many days is that? And did that affect all the employees except service? That's what I'm asking.
How many business days?
I'm sorry?
Business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying from, I'm thinking it's January 5th to January 12th. So that's what I'm asking. Nobody knows?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
From January 5th?
And we came back the 12th.
Okay. And that, that affected everybody but service, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, for the record, I want to, Ms. Pope, for the residents that's listening, could you, as you explained it in committee of the whole, could you let them know that it's part of the Americans Cares Act? I would like you just to elaborate on that for our residents that are watching.
So American Rescue Act plan includes 4 areas of distribution that the money could be used for. 2 of the areas, of course, is premium pay, and we already talked about the broadband. There's also a lost revenue feature. There's a spreadsheet that's completed, and if you show that you have lost revenue due to COVID, you can use that as an allowable expense. So it's premium pay, it's not bonus pay. And they allow up to, I believe it was actually $13 an hour, up to 13. And it would be the decision of the manager on how much each employee would get, just so they wouldn't lose any of their salary.
Okay. And could you, just for the residents that are watching, could you let them know that it doesn't come out of the general fund?
It does not come out of the general fund. It's the American Rescue Plan Act. And the final rule, they had a training, or not a training, but a webinar on that today to, that really stated that you can actually use that for your premium pay.
All right. Well, thank you,
Can
Ms.
I ask
Pope.
a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So any bonus is for working during the pandemic, that pay doesn't come from CARES Act or anything, it comes from general fund?
No, it doesn't come from general fund. The premium pay is not bonus, because
I know you said that 4 times already.
yep, it's not bonus, it's premium pay, and it comes from it comes from the latest distribution from the federal government.
And bonus money comes from where?
Bonus money would be something that would come from the general fund.
Thank you.
Excuse me?
Madam Mayor.
I said it didn't. That's what I said, it didn't come out.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Pope, did you
Madam Mayor.
finish? Let me let her get her last thought out. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
I was just clarifying that it did not come from general fund. It came from American Rescue Act funding,
The bonus?
the premium pay.
Okay, all right, 'cause
It's
I
not a
know the mayor,
bonus.
I just want to get clarity for,
It's the essential workers pay.
My,
Premium pay for essential workers. So the workers that were still here during the pandemic, you can use it for. And then for if you had to shut down the building because of any COVID cases, you can use it for that also.
okay.
Madam Mayor, it may help if you say that that came from the Biden administration.
Yeah,
That the mayor, yeah, because you keep saying it, everybody doesn't understand that, you know, and it's easier when you apply it to who gave it to everybody. When I say everybody, municipalities and
Yes.
and health centers and I guess and whatever institutions out there. that
So
use that.
everybody, all the municipalities, local, there was a calculation, and each municipality was allotted a certain amount. Our amount was 175 for 20, and for 21, 175,000, and then in 2022, the second distribution will be another 175.
All right, thank you.
And that money has to be spent by when?
2024.
Okay.
That may help us in the understanding. Thank you, Mayor.
May I ask a
All right.
question, Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
So will people be receiving bonus money as well? Because for whatever reason, we kept talking about bonus.
Not unless the village manager, lets us know that we're getting a bonus. No, no.
All right, Ms. Mitchell?
Yeah, so let's, I think that, just so that I'm clear, we paid staff some additional monies at the end of the year, which was the $2 per hour that you worked. Explain what that pay was, so that it is not confused with this or bonus pay.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So what was paid to each staff member according to the hours that they worked in 2021 was essential workers pay. That was the pay to them for coming in and working through the year, which is allowed under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And that was not the bonus, right? Technically, it's not a bonus because it did not come from us.
Yeah.
But if we wanted, did we give any bonuses last year?
No.
Madam Chair, we, as a village out of general funds, did not give employees bonuses. The funds were given to employees under essential workers pay. Other institutions that, or municipalities, and even the county, received ARPA funds, and they did the same thing of giving essential workers pay to their employees.
And
The
those
hazardous pay.
who were not qualified for essentials workers pay still got some compensation, but still from the same fund, correct?
The others that got a compensation, was that taken from, because they really didn't, well, I guess they did, I just gave them.
They just got
to
extra
do some
compensation, but it
Yeah.
wasn't.
It was not at the $2 an hour, because they were still in their probationary period.
All right, so if all minds are clear, and there's nothing further, is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a good night.
Have a good night.